Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, because this is going to be a lengthy video, but it's probably going to be one of the most important videos that you watch when it comes back to the crypto space. Now, I wanted to start off this video with just outlining the fact that yes, the market structure markup is not happening this week. It has been postponed. It's been very confusing throughout this entire week because there's been days where we see an update that it's been postponed or it's been delayed. And then we start to see major players like Tim Scott coming out and saying we're still on par to, have this markup happen on Thursday. But it seems as though this is now completely delayed. And it's a good thing. I know that it may seem like this is a bad thing, like, oh, we have another delay, this is horrible. I actually think that this is beneficial for the entire crypto space. And we're going to talk about that. But first, let's start off with, of course, the big update. So here we have from Eleanor, Justin, the Senate Banking Committee has decided to pull tomorrow's scheduled markup structure markup following today's drama with Coinbase. It's unclear whether a new date has been set. Now, I think that it's very easy to say that this is just drama with Coinbase. It's actually not. This bill has a ton of major issues within it. When we think about the market structure bill, yeah, we've been hearing great things all throughout 2025. If you guys remember, in 2025, this bill was supposed to have, no major issues for crypto. It was supposed to pretty much give the entire crypto space a full green light on innovation to thrive, to grow, to expand. It was not going to kill anything. That completely changed almost overnight. Now we'll talk about why. Now here we have the official statement on the cancellation from the banking GOP. This is with Tim Scott. So the quote here is, I've spoken with leaders across the crypto industry, the financial sector, and my Democratic and Republican colleagues, and everyone remains at the table working in good faith. The bill reflects months of serious bipartisan negotiations and real input from innovators, investors, and law enforcement. The goal is to deliver clear rules of the road that protect consumers, strengthen our national security, and ensure the future of finance is built in the United States. This is definitely not the case. I'm going to talk about it because, again, like I said, there's a lot of major issues within this bill. Here we have new crypto market structure markup postponed by Senate Banking Committee in an anticlimactic end to what was meant to be a pivotal week for crypto policy. Banking GOP yanked a markup of its landmark crypto bill. What happened and what's next? Now, again, Coinbase withdrawed support completely. That's the main reason why this has been postponed. I understand that it's very easy to look at it as drama, especially coming from someone like Eleanor that doesn't hold crypto. She made it clear a couple months back that she does not hold crypto, but she does run the Crypto America, podcast essentially. She's also been writing about crypto for years, which, again, she's been doing an incredible job. I don't think that she's anti-crypto or against crypto. I just don't think that she understands a lot of what's really happening here with crypto. Because, again, for well over now, I would say 6 years, we have been focused on what these big bankers have been doing within the crypto space. But it's been going on for a very long time, even beyond 6+ years. Crypto has always been in the scope of the big banks as a, pretty much public enemy, number one. Now, before I really get into everything, I do want to quickly go over a few things from the sponsor, which is iTrust Capital. Yes, they are a sponsor of the channel. Yes, I work with them. Yes, I do get paid from iTrust Capital. However, I have been utilizing iTrust Capital for years now. I've trusted iTrust Capital before I even had a sponsorship deal with them. They are an incredible platform to buy, sell crypto, even, gold and silver as well. They do offer a crypto IRA. This is incredible for those that want to get tax advantaged crypto holdings. On top of that, for anyone that wants to get access to a premium custody account, which is extremely secure, probably one of the most secured platforms in the space to hold your crypto. It's a closed loop system completely. You can buy and sell crypto 24/7. They have US based company support. If you guys do want to go check this out, there's going to be a link down in the description below as well as in the comments below. And like I said, I have been utilizing them for years and I have had zero issues with them. So if you guys do want to go check it out, like I said, links are down in the description below as well as in the comments below. Now, let's talk about the big issue. So I made a post on X recently, back in, this was just on January 14th, actually. So this was just yesterday. I made an updated post regarding this today because, again, we've been seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, it's just Coinbase drama. I said here, major crypto warning. Listen, I want regulations for the space. Without them, crypto doesn't reach its full potential. And yes, we do need regulations. It's, over the years, we have noticed so many issues in crypto, from meme coin launches to rug pulls to, even manipulation of price action. Yes, we need regulations. However, regulations are not going to stop a lot of those issues. For an example, the metals market, those markets are fully regulated. That doesn't stop JP Morgan and the big bankers to manipulate those markets, which, by the way, yes, that's public information. You can go and look at JP Morgan paying fees, Bank of America paying fees, these big banks paying fees to the SEC for manipulating those markets. However, the most recent draft of the Clarity Act must be boycotted, I said. It's essentially a backdoor for banks to become the puppeteer of crypto's future. They are absolutely trying to strip stablecoin yield down to nothing. This would be an absolute blow to DeFi as well as the entire industry. Anyone cheering this bill or for this bill with this new information coming out is clearly anti-crypto and pro-banks. And I said this because of what's been happening. Yes, Coinbase did withdraw support. We heard from Brian Armstrong saying that they can no longer support this Senate banking crypto bill as written. We'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. And yeah, I stand with them on this because it is a very significant, bill that includes extremely concerning information. We have here the crypto firms that will back the bill despite Coinbase exit. Yes, Ripple is one of them. We also have a few other ones like Circle, Kraken, Paradigm, also Andreessen, Horowitz. The main thing that we are looking at here is like, are these companies bad players because they're backing this bill still? No, not exactly. I think that, for the most part, when it comes back to a lot of these bills, there's going to be support from companies like these because they work with big bankers, they work with institutional players. So for the most part, I don't want to say that they're catering to them, but, they see that in order for these big institutional players and banks to get into the space, yeah, we need to give a little bit. But we're seeing this space give an inch and these big banks trying to take a mile. Back in, the summer of 2025, we passed the Genius Act. That was, an incredible bill and it gave banks a little bit of power over the space. But now they want everything. They want all of the main things that make crypto a huge opportunity for retail. They want to get rid of all of that. What am I talking about? Well, here we have from Brian Armstrong. After reviewing the Senate banking draft text over the last 48 hours, Coinbase unfortunately can't support the bill as written. There are too many issues, including a de facto ban on tokenized equities, DeFi prohibitions giving the government unlimited access to your financial records and removing your right to privacy, erosion of the CFTC's authority, stifling innovation and making it subservient to the SEC, draft amendments that would kill rewards on stablecoins, allowing banks to ban their competition. We appreciate all the hard work by members of the Senate to reach a bipartisan outcome, but this version would be materially worse than the current status quo. We'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. Hopefully we can get to a better draft. We'll keep fighting for all Americans and for economic freedom. Crypto needs to be treated on a level playing field with the rest of financial services so we can build this industry in a safe and trusted way in America. I'm actually quite optimistic that we will get to the right outcome with continued effort. We will keep showing up and working with everyone to get there. And yeah, this is an incredible breakdown. I mean, listen, there's so many concerning factors in this bill. We are constantly seeing more and more influencers in the space, companies in the space pushing this bill forward, but it's not the bill that we have been asking for. The big banks have essentially strong-armed their way into this, controlling these major politicians to essentially rewrite the rules. And yeah, we keep hearing that this Clarity Act that they've been working on for more than 6 months is of good faith, bipartisan negotiations, and has benefited from consultation with industry participants, legal and academic experts, and key stakeholders. But if you guys remember, back in the beginning of December, big banking CEOs started to talk with major regulators and major players around the banking GOP to essentially rewrite the rules. That's when things started to change. So this bill, I'm telling you, like all of this work put into this bill, this is not a good bill. That does not equate to a good bill. This is a very concerning bill for the entire crypto industry. Now, we did hear from Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO. He said, while long overdue, this move by Tim Scott and banking GOP on market structure is a massive step forward in providing workable frameworks for crypto while continuing to protect consumers. Ripple and I know firsthand that clarity beats chaos, and this bill's success is crypto success. We are at the table and will continue to move forward with fair debate. I remain optimistic that issues can be resolved through the markup process. Now, I did respond to this and I said, now, if only we could stop the banks from rewriting the rules in their favor, attempting to kill stablecoin yield. Yeah. Clarity is great. Forced regulations from the banking sector is a big problem. And it is. It really is. Now, this is the quote that we have from over here from Eleanor Tourette. The full quote here is that he's spoken with colleagues on both sides and everyone remains at the table. I just don't think that, if the bill is going to try to kill things like what Brian is outlining here, no bill is going to be good. We need to make sure that these things thrive in crypto. These are the things that make crypto. Now, we also heard from David Sachs. Passage of the market structure legislation remains as close as it's ever been. The crypto industry should use the pause to resolve any remaining differences. Now is the time to set the rules of the road and secure the future of this industry. So listen, if we're thinking about this, the banks are trying to fight this bill and they're trying to rework the bill. Why is that? Like, are we not sitting here asking, like, why? Like, let's go back to Brian's post real quick. All right. Are we not sitting here asking why they want to ban most of these things? Like stablecoin yield, they want to kill that. They want to kill DeFi, essentially. They want to give full-on access to your financial records. They want to remove privacy. Like, are we not, like, addressing these major glaring factors? Like, why are they trying to do this? Well, let's go look at a post real quick from Omar. So this is the one and Omzi. So this got posted on the 13th. He did make an additional post regarding this, which we'll talk about. But we have here, if you're wondering why the banks don't want yield on stablecoins, here's a summary of national deposit rates from the FDIC. Savings equals 0.39%, checking 0.07%. This is insane, by the way. Money markets is 0.58%. All while the treasury yields are 3.89% from 12/15. That fat spread of 3.82% represents bank profits, and it's what they don't want anyone jeopardizing. Here we have a little bit of an update. This is from, of course, Bank of America's CEO. Bank of America's CEO on why stablecoins shouldn't pay interest. Now, I'm not going to read all of this. We have Omar breaking it down. This is a quick summary. Consumers shouldn't earn yield so banks can. Quick summary, interest on stables equals mass deposit flight, fully reserved money, no fractional leverage. Banks lose free funding. Profits go bye-bye. And yeah, that's because we have here. But the point we've tried to make, and if you look at some studies, I think were done by Treasury, is that they say you could see upwards of $6 trillion in deposits flow off the liabilities of a banking system to the deposits into the stable coin environment. They're saying that a $6 trillion flight could happen here. That's extremely concerning to them. Why is that? Well, because that's a massive amount of money gone out of their pocket. I wrote about this. In fact, I wrote about this back in 2023 when banks were trying to kill staking as a service. I mentioned the average APY on savings accounts. It was 0.33% back then. When we think about the average API in DeFi being 5% to 15%, you can clearly see the big issue here. But it's all about control. It's all about control with, taking away privacy, pushing CBDCs, pushing their tokenized deposit tokens. Like, this is a big issue. But I said here, it's all about control. This is my updated post. This is from today. I remember writing this post back in 2023 while regulators were trying to kill staking, which is a crucial part of the DeFi sector. What I said is even more important today than in 2023 because we are still seeing banks attempt to kill a major opportunity crypto enables for retail, i.e. stablecoin yield. We see regulators in the US targeting staking as a service. Why? Oh yeah, that's because the national APY for savings accounts is 0.33%. Take this info into consideration with the average common APY for DeFi being 5% to 15%. Do you see the problem? That statistic alone is the reason why banks are terrified of stablecoin yield. They don't want money exiting the banking system and flowing into the crypto ecosystem. This harms banks in multiple ways, but the main one is killing the yearly income they make holding your money. Why settle for fractions of pennies on the dollar in a traditional savings account when you can earn upwards of 5% plus holding stablecoins in crypto? The other big issue here is capital flight, i.e. rapid money movement away from the traditional system. Banks in 2023 were failing, multiple banks closed, and this showed us how dangerous fractional reserve banking really is. This is why banks don't want retail withdrawing their money and move into the crypto space. They can't cover all deposits because they don't have enough reserves. This is why the Fed is constantly injecting money into overnight repos to save failing banks. Banks are extremely scared of what crypto is capable of offering their customers because they know they can't offer the same. Now, they are using their reach to rewrite the rules in their favor, and crypto companies are following them blindly. This is a very big problem no matter how people try to spin it. I stand with Coinbase, and I do. I mean, listen, I've said it many times over. It's not like I'm anti-regulations. I do think that regulations are good if done right. This is not regulations done right. Brian Armstrong realizes this as well. This is someone that wants regulations as well. It's good for business. He's running Coinbase as well as Coinbase Institutional. But he is seeing the glaring issues here. This is not Coinbase drama. This is extremely important crypto issues coming to light while Coinbase is withdrawing support of a bill that would essentially kill large pieces of the crypto space. We need to make sure that we are standing with Coinbase at this point because we need to make sure that this bill is done right. If it's not done right, then we are essentially giving up complete control to the big banks. We are essentially killing major innovation in the crypto space, especially around the US. And if the US gets their way with this, I would assume that this most likely starts to become a major issue around the world as well. This could kill what really makes crypto crypto. We need to make sure that opportunities still are a big thing in this space for retail. The same opportunities that for the longest time brought users in. We cannot let banks control this industry. We cannot give banks the power over this industry. Yes, banks adopting crypto, moving into crypto, it's not a terrible thing, but it has to be done right. And right now, it's not being done right. They are trying to control this market. They're trying to kill pieces of this market because it's harming their business. Harming their business so much to the point where they're saying $6 trillion could take flight from the banking system into the crypto space for stablecoin deposits. That's a very big, significant factor. They are terrified. Let's keep them that way. Let's not give them the power and make them comfortable again. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video.